Philometal Cunk, and today I will be speaking to Billy and Gabe from the Realm of Embers. I will be asking them questions such as, why are the folk made of metal? And why are raisins so sinful?
Is Gabe there?
Doesn't look like it.
Never mind. It probably takes a long time for the internet to reach all the way to America. I don't know if they even have internet over there. It seems like quite a primitive part of the world. I see that you're wearing a black shirt, so that means that you're allowed to be a member of a metal band. Who decided that that is the rules?
I think it was decided about 700 years ago.
Was it Ozzy Osbourne?
Possibly an ancestor.
Is your name Billy or is your name Neil? It's very confusing.
My name's Billy O'Neill.
So Neil is your name?
Billy.
Very nice to meet you, Neil. So you're a member of the real Movembers, is that right?
Yes.
If this is the real Movembers, what would be the fake Movembers?
When you're wearing white instead of black.
How does the sound come out of the guitar? The sound is trapped inside the guitar, so you have to set it free, don't you?
I think there's a jailer's key that allows you to let the goblins out.
The goblins live inside the guitar.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in the world who actually understands music theory?
Maybe Adam for Friday Night Dinner.
Is this the very first metal band to ever use a guitar?
I think it might be the 26th.
I'm just trying to get a hold of our American friend. Have you heard anything?
Well, I have to use the flying goblins, like how they used to use pigeons to reach them. So it was only about 20 hours ago when I sent them.
So do you have to go to a special goblin sending station in order to send them? Or can you send them from anywhere?
Yes, unfortunately it's very expensive, so I'm doing it less and less these days.
Yeah, no, it's understandable, like with inflation and everything. So I've heard some people referring to the band as Realm of Embers, but where does this misconception come from?
I think that might be native Italians that pronounce it like that.
How many embers would there be in that realm?
There's at least two.
At least two. Do you think it's because it's quite small and so you can't fit that many?
Oh, it's quite big.
How big is the biggest ember that you've ever seen?
I think it's taller than the Empire State.
Is it only embers that are allowed because they're so big and you can't fit anything else? Or do you think you might be able to fit something else that was really small?
It depends if they're hollowed out or not inside. If they're completely solid, no, nothing can fit in.
Okay, we've got a comment here from the chat saying that someone's only seen embers the size of potatoes. It's been very informative. What kind of metal would you consider your music to be? On the periodic table, that is. I have heard that your metal band also contains some woodwind instruments, so doesn't that mean that it's actually wooden music rather than metal music?
It's wood and metal.
It's kind of like a hammer, would you say? So it's quite similar to the band Tool then. Why do people play music really loudly in metal? Why is it so loud?
We don't like what we hear, so we want to go deaf.
Understandable, okay. But then surely if you then go deaf, then you can't hear any music.
Then you're not bound by any constraints anymore.
So people who listen to metal wish to be free from the constraints of society by not having to hear the noises that are made in the world, is that correct?
Indeed.
So I've heard that there is a type of metal called folk metal. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Does that mean that the folk are made of metal?
I mean, if there is a band and the member is Tin Lizzy from the Dandy, I suppose that does kind of count.
Taylor Swift versus the K-pop Demon Hunters. Which do you find more inspirational?
Probably Taylor Swift.
What kind of metal genre would you consider Taylor to be?
I'm in brutal death metal.
Why is there a witch in the forest?
Well, they're not exactly going to live in Croydon, are they?
What is the most number of notes that anybody has ever played in one go?
2 3/4.
So you're telling me you've played more than 2 3/4 notes at the same time?
Yeah, that sounds impossible.
Do you think maybe that the wide part of the guitar is like its stomach, and then when the guitar makes sound, it then eats the sound and then stores it in its stomach? When you play back a recording from the guitar, that's then when the guitar releases the sound that it has eaten when you recorded it.
So you mean musical waste?
But I suppose at the top of the guitar, you have the poking out bits. Is that how the sound is then projected, like little antenna?
Maybe.
Which song is the most metal out of all songs?
It's got to be I'm a Barbie Girl.
Would you say that's a death metal song?
I'd say it's more porno grinds.
Please can you explain to the viewers this genre?
Well, I see Gabe has joined the stream. If we get him on, he might be
Yeah.
better answering that question than me.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Is it Mr. Salad? Is that the correct pronunciation of
Yes,
your name?
tossed salad.
Tossed Salad. Okay. You are called both Mr. Salad and Mr. Dino.
Sometimes by some groups of people, yes.
Such is the duality of man. What does it say on your shirt?
It says repulsion.
Good.
It's the way I feel.
Is it also the name of a K-pop band?
Yes.
So is this the way that bands like to advertise themselves so that they may appear to be more friendly and relatable?
I think it projects an aura of approachability.
Why do you speak like that? Why is your accent?
I'm from America.
Why are you from America?
I done got born here.
Couldn't you have chosen to be born somewhere a bit better? It's not funny. Think that you just didn't try.
Try hard. You're right.
I think it's a skill issue, to be honest.
Yeah, American birthing system is not the best.
I'm amazed that they even let you join any kind of band, to be honest. When you clearly, your ability to be born in a reasonable country is just so poor.
Yeah, reasonable, not our forte.
Do you have unresolved anger issues? Is that why you shout so much?
Oh, why I shout so much? Yes. Yes, and
Does everybody who listens to music with lots of shouting, do they also have lots of unresolved anger issues?
probably.
Does anybody actually like listening to this kind of music? It's hard to believe, really, because it's very loud.
It is very loud, and sometimes unenjoyable.
That's why we want to be deaf, remember?
Why is it enjoyable to listen to people shouting?
I don't know if it's enjoyable. It's cathartic. Relate to it
Like when you get home and then you take your bra off, like that.
and let them down.
Yeah, would you say it's a similar kind of feeling?
Yeah, that kind of relief. Yes.
Well, I have a question for both of you now. If you could make any two bands swap members, which bands would it be, and which members would have to swap?
Do you want to take this one first, Billy?
I would swap Lars Ulrich from Metallica and Mark Portnoy from Dream Theater.
I thought Lars was a polar bear,
In his spare time.
and you wanted him to go to the theatre. I didn't know that they allowed polar bears at the theatre.
Only in the Arctic Circle.
Gabe, what about you? If you could swap any band members, which ones would you swap?
Probably also would do a Metallica, and I'd put Dave Mustaine back in.
Would you say that Metallica is the most metal of all bands because they have the word metal in their name?
Yes.
Is Metallica so loud because when you hit on the metal, it makes a very loud sound?
It's something of a bing.
So you would describe Metallica as being metal?
Yes. Bing, bing, bing.
Okay, what do you think about music? Do you like music?
Not really.
No, what about you, Gabe? Do you have any thoughts about music?
It's fine.
Thinks music is fine. So what I want to know is when you make music, how do you then make it go into our ears?
We have to hire someone called a vibration engineer.
Is that somebody who has drunk too much coffee?
They're generally known as vibrators.
If you could collaborate with anybody, who would it be? Maybe the vibrator?
A lot of buzz about that one. For music, probably Max Cavalera of Sepultura and Soulfly.
Bill Manspeaker. From
Man's
Green Day.
feature?
Yes.
So all of his features are like a man?
Yeah.
Or was it mouse feature?
Yeah.
Man feature or mouse feature?
Manspeaker.
Now I have a few questions about dried fruits. What happens if you eat any dried fruit?
I explode.
Interesting. Okay. Is this a common medical condition that quite a few people suffer with?
I don't know. If it is, I've never met them. They've exploded.
I suppose after somebody explodes, it's quite difficult to meet them. I suppose it would be more ideal to meet somebody in a pre-exploded state. Gabe, have you ever exploded?
Once or twice. I managed to get myself back.
Do you think you could make coffee out of raisins?
A horrible drink, some sort of shitty version of wine.
If you could make anything out of raisins, what would you make?
A revolver.
A raisin revolver. Are there quite strict restrictions on who can buy said raisin revolvers, or does everybody have the right to bear raisin revolvers? I feel like people would want to be able to defend themselves from potential fruit-based assault.
Well, John Cleese once said it's a very unregulated market. We don't know too much about it, so we can't really make the rules yet.
You've been known for hating raisins. Would you say that this is related to your own personal struggles because you're actually struggling to come to terms with the fact that you yourself are a raisin? And does that inform your hatred of raisins?
No raisin wants to be a raisin.
That's often what you might say if you are struggling with accepting your own identity. I've heard that there are support groups out there. They are innocent raisins and they haven't done anything to deserve this hatred. What do you say to that?
Well, making people explode, that's quite
But wouldn't you say that that is the fault? That's the fault of the raisin eater rather than the raisin eatee. The raisin eater who eats the raisin and then explodes, surely that's their fault for eating the raisin in an act of cannibalism, arguably, if they are also a raisin struggling with their own raisin identity. Is it sinful to eat raisins? Is that why the word sin is in the word raisin? There's a very important issue of potential hypocrisy and lying that I've come across just through some brief research of your band. I've heard that the final track on your album is called This Is the End. But then I've also seen that you recently announced that you would be releasing an instrumental version of the album. So you were lying when you said this is the end, because it clearly was not the end. So what do you have to say for yourself?
It's the first end.
Well, it's not the end then, is it?
It's like when you're playing Silent Hill and you've got 5 different endings. This is just the basic one, what everyone gets on their first time playing.
I've heard people say that that is the most basic song on the album, actually. Would you say that Sabrina Carpenter was one of your main influences on writing that track?
Well, she helped write it.
How can Sabrina Carpenter work on a metal song if she's a carpenter? Because surely she can only work on wooden-based music.
Well, remember, it is like wooden tin sort of boron metal.
You accept then that you are liars and hypocrites then in calling your track This Is the End? Because it's very misleading advertising, and I think you should be ashamed of yourselves.
It's not so much that the song is the end, it's referring to when we come to the end.
So you're still lying then?
Yes.
Okay. So would you say that falsehood is a key part of your band's identity?
Yes.
You're proud of this level of deception becoming associated with your brand?
He's from America, what do you expect?
Yeah.
I feel like This Is the End is not the only song title that is a little misleading. I also see that there's a song that's called The Bard's Tale. Is the bard a human, or is the bard a furry?
The bard is a bobbit.
What is that?
It was this fake hobbit made famous by a guy called Lord British in the 80s.
And he has a tail.
Yes.
It must be quite impractical to move around when your tail is mostly made out of accordions. How big does the bobbit have to be in order to have a tail that's made exclusively out of accordions?
At least the size of one accordion.
Do you think it would be as big as the Empire State Building?
No, the bobbit's tiny.
The bobbit itself is very small, but then has a tail that's made out of accordions. The bobbit is the size of one accordion.
Yes, the body shape is.
This is very confusing. You can understand why all these song titles cause a lot of confusion. Would you say that maybe metal folk would be kind of like a statue?
Yeah, but slightly more posable.
I think we've probably subjected everybody to enough nonsense. We reconsider how much you are misleading your audience with your song titles. Maybe try not to lie to people so much. That would be my recommendation going forwards, to be more truthful about when you have actually ended.
We'll give it some thought for the future.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Salad, and thank you, Mr. Neil, for joining the very first episode of Cunk on Metal.